Oh, here we go, Chris. We're live, bro.
Live, live in the venue.
Hey, and then on my computer, because I'm setting it up, what happens is when you talk, you come on the screen, and when I talk, I come on the screen.
All right, that's what's up. Hold on. Let me go. My office.
Yeah. So I was at Discount Tire right now. That's why it took so long. What happened is
Hey, are we not doing the in the
I hit
pod with
my
Jory?
You're in the pod with Jory.
And Chris?
Yeah, buddy. Hey, so I still got that website. I guess we could post to it, huh?
That's what's up. Let's do it.
Yeah. Hell yeah. No, man. So I'm kind of late because I go to Discount Tire. I hit a curb a couple weeks ago, and I had brand new tires on my car, and the front ones went completely bald, and I didn't think nothing of it. I hit this curb. Now that I think, but should have known, I hit it at like 20 miles an hour, but afterwards it was fine, but the tires went bald. And I went to Discount Tire, and they're just going to change those tires, and they're like, hey, you kind of cracked your wheel. But then for the price of the wheels I already paid for, they just ended up giving me all new wheels because it's all-wheel drive and tires for the same price. So I was like, hell yeah, man. They worked with me. So
That's a
son
deal,
of a
baby.
bitch. Hell yeah. So you got
What's up?
fired, dude, or with that whole thing, you got fired or what?
Yeah.
You kind of broke up a little.
No, I left.
So what's the deal with it? Or you want to talk about something else? That's cool.
I want to talk about that shit on in the pod right now, man.
Kind of hit
Hello?
you off guard. I'm sorry. No, I'm still
Yeah.
here. I was just messing with the camera.
No, yeah.
Just messing.
Man, I mean, shit happens for a reason, like you say, and then you fucking. I saw your thing on. I saw your post this morning. Fucking dope.
What's that? What post?
The one you're talking about.
Marcelo Garcia?
Yeah.
Yeah,
What up?
I was watching. Hey.
Hi.
Hi.
Hey. Oh my god, mommy in the house.
Hi, I miss you.
Dude, how's it going? How was your first day back?
How's what? I can't hear.
Your first day back.
Oh, yeah, I didn't go back today. I wasn't ready.
She wasn't
Yeah.
ready.
Wasn't ready.
No.
I'm gonna go tomorrow.
Welcome to parenthood.
Oh.
So, yeah, let's go over that. Oh, hello. You sound like your daddy taking a dump.
Yeah. Pretty much. Oh no, that quote. I was watching a thing on Marcelo Garcia, and basically, someone asked him. It was like a 30-minute video from Stuart Cooper Films, and he's like one of the greatest right now, right? So they're like, what makes someone great? And he's just like, there is no recipe. There's no recipe. You just got to have, and he has that broken English. So, it's something like, there is no recipe. It's just, you need dedication and desire, and not a desire to win, but a desire to train to win,
Mm-hmm.
and I just appreciated the shit out of that. That's all I needed. I turned it off, and I was like, man, it's kind of stewing on that quote. So I don't know, man. I'm kind of coming out of the whole funk with my mom, and I'm just like, I'm back in, bro. I'm back in. I'm back to my normal self, And obviously, there's more levels to it, but same thing with my brother, except I've been down this road before, so I'm back. You know what I mean? I know it. I've been here, and there'll be some hard times in the future, but I'm just going uphill. Just last time I didn't have a direction. This time I do, and I knew. You know what I mean? So that's all it's coming down from. So you were
Cool, man.
gonna say something.
No, I was just admiring that fucking man dude you got going on there, bro. Fucking that shit is like nice and round and full and just like fuck.
You know what, man? Shannon don't like it, but the thing is, get more my peers when I have this thing. You know what I mean? And it sounds stupid, but I'm just treated differently with and without a beard. That's it. So, plus, I ain't got nothing up here.
Hey, you know they say bald men are sexier, more masculine, more intelligent, and more driven, I think, what they say.
Something like that. They just say it's a sign of power, having a bald head. That's why you got to stay on top of it. It can't be like this. I got to keep it shiny. It makes you look
I'm doing
clean
my
cut.
Yep, I'm doing myself.
Hey, you know what? I've been using that. I just had to buy razors. Remember that one time you told me about that straight razor?
Mm-hmm.
I bought it, and I just bought new razors for it since I bought it. That's how long those razors last, and they're amazing, dude.
Damn, for real?
Yeah. Remember you told me about it, the one they sold on TV, the straight razor?
Yeah. I did not.
You still use yours or what?
Yep, because that thing, they gave me the bumps on my head and shit. You know, I got that gene that you get the bumps if you don't use the right
Yeah.
and shit. But I do the what is it called, Dollar Shave Club for men or whatever, which really isn't $1, but I get my set from there every month. So yeah, man.
It's probably still cheaper though.
Oh fuck yeah, dude! $9 for a 5-pack that lasts me a month or whatever. You know what I mean? Versus buying it for fucking $20. You know?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, dude.
Damn.
Absolutely. Yeah, dude. Yeah, bro. Like I said, I'm back, man. I kind of, you know, with life stresses, you know, the baby and it kind of, I don't want to say dragged me down, but it took focus and I wasn't putting my focus there. So I was kind of in a daze and lost my energy. And then I'm back, man. I'm back, all inspirational and shit. Because what happened is what were you going to say? Go ahead.
Go ahead. I'm listening to the story.
Oh, no, just last week, what happens in construction is typically warmer months and then November, December, January, there's no work. But I'm lucky enough to work right now, you know. But what happened is it's slowing down. We're trying to draw out some work because if they lay us off and get us back as an apprentice, they'll dispatch me somewhere else, and I don't have the option as an apprentice to go back. So they're trying to keep certain people there to keep the numbers up.
Mm-hmm.
So, but the point being is we're trying to make this work draw out, and it's a little bit slower, and I was getting lackadaisical. All of us kind of were. And then there is no long story short here. I got to just go with the version I'm going with. So what happened is someone saw us standing around, and God, it hurts my pride to even say it right now, but the superintendent, which is like, think of it in chain of command in terms of sergeant, lieutenant.
I know what a superintendent is, yeah.
Yeah, so he comes out, and he's cool. He's real personable with us, but in a professional way. And he just comes and he tells it like it is. And he's like, you know, people see you standing around, yada, yada, yada. You guys know better. You should be doing this. You should be doing this. And this was last Tuesday or last Wednesday, but I was stewing it all week. At first I was mad. I was like, yeah, I could have, but excuse. Yeah, I could every day. Yeah, I could have, but slowly but surely over the week. And I was like, it got shorter and shorter and went, yeah, I could have. Fuck. You know where you're saying the truth? That's what it did to me. So I was like, I went in today like, fuck that. Here I am. Yeah, I'm coming back. I know we're supposed to make this work draw out, but I'm just going to be running and gunning. I'm getting my bowed up. I was bowed up all day. Just, oh, here we go. Like, not in a bad way, like, fuck you, but like, I don't need permission. I'm going to go and do all this work. And I'm here to fuck shit up type attitude. I had a great day, dude. And I need someone saying, hey, you're so awesome. I need someone saying, step that up, you know? And so here I am, like, refocused, and the holiday's over, so I got to hang out with family. I feel recharged, and freaking, I'm just back on a tear at work. I feel today was the first day, and it was not a New Year's resolution. It just took someone telling me a little bit of truth. Like, don't get lazy, you know, and it's good.
Yeah.
I feel good.
That's what's up. Good, man. Good. I wish I could share that same motivation, but right now I'm barely, I'm at where you were. That slump factor. You know what I mean? I think that's what caught me up slipping, was me being fucking lazy and not fucking and not being who I am. You know, I got out of my fucking. I was in a comfort zone that is foreign to me. It was too relaxed, too fucking. Oh, you got promoted early as fuck, so you got all this responsibilities, and you're the boss man, so you're like delegating and you're, doing all this shit. You're really not your shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, cause I was, when I first started, I was grinding, bro. Like, fucking anything that needed to get done, I was jumping on it. Shit that didn't need to get done, I was jumping on it. Fucking whatever the fuck it was. I was the guy. I was, oh, you want somebody to hold over? I got you. You know what I mean? Oh, you want somebody to come in on this day? That's me. You know what I'm saying? And then I got this, I got, a steam going on and fucking, and I got caught up slipping. So get fired, it was either resign or you're going to be fired. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and they are trying to save me from having to, have you ever been fired from a job? No. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And, whatever, have I talked to you? When did the last time I talked to you?
You talked to me about hey man, I got to meet with the guys tomorrow because.
Oh yeah. So I talked to you on that Wednesday. Yeah. So I met him on Thursday. He came down, and I knew that night. You know what I mean? I think I probably told you on the phone. I had a feeling it was.
Yeah, you told me.
Yeah, and to be honest, bro, I had made my peace. It was just, it's kind of weird, man. It was like when I knew things weren't going to work out in my favor, which hardly ever really happens in my life, you know what I mean? But I've caught some breaks. Not to say, I'm not a guy who's gonna sit here and say I've never caught any breaks and I've had to bust my ass and I've had to, you know what I mean? Because that's false. You know what I mean? I've had people help me out and I've had things swing my way, not as often as I necessarily would like or have seen others happen to it. But hey, that's, they're living their life and they have their shit and I have my own. But when I, going into it with that mindset, when we talked, it was like as my heart was crushing, it was also releasing. You know what I mean? Yeah. It was like it was like fuck, and I could feel this like reality hit and all the flood of what next were going, but at the same time they weren't as powerful as like they had been before. It was more of like, good, now finally it's over. You know what I mean? Like now finally I don't have to sit idly by and fucking wonder and, and keep, what's going to happen, no, fuck that. It is what it was. And now you got to hustle on the next move.
Yeah.
I took the weekend, took the time with the family, do that, had some pretty good fun. You know what I mean? But today was a weird day. Like I woke up this morning in a fucking shitty mood, like a shitty fucking asshole fucking dick move. You know what I mean? Because I was like, Chanel's going back to work, day back, and then here it is. It's not mine. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm like, and it was, and then in that moment when I opened my eyes, I was like, oh, and it took me a while in the morning to kind of shake it, but once I did, I just occupied myself with other tasks that I like doing, and I had the kids. My nephew stayed over, so house full of kids, and I just did me, and it's all right. I got some other shit going on, work-wise, things coming up soon. I need to hit up these unions to try to get into the trade or see when they're gonna actually. The one of the unions that's up by my It's a little bit away from where I'm at. It's in Stockton, but they have a apprentice orientation or whatever, like a what do you call it? Yeah, like an open enrollment. I don't know if it's open enrollment or whatever, but on the 17th, if you want to come down and apply for an apprenticeship program or see if you can get into the apprenticeship program, it's on the 17th of January. So, which is what, like 15 days away, 2 weeks away?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
what's funny is I don't mean to cut you off, but you were telling me even just a few months ago, like, man, I wish I could do something like that. You know what I mean? And like, maybe this is a silver lining. Maybe this is something that.
I forgot what it's like.
I hate Jay, but.
What's up?
Go ahead. No, I'm waiting for you. You said you forgot what it's like. What?
Oh no, sorry. The connection keeps cutting in and out. So like, I'll see your face and then it'll go start blinking J and then it'll come back in. So I was gonna say, what's funny is like, remember how you were talking like when you first left dispatch, you were like, bro, yeah, I'm taking a pay cut, but man, it feels good to be around men again. It feels good to like be, hands and be dirty and you know what I mean, like. And I think that's what it is for me. Like, I forgot what an alpha, you know what I mean? Like, I can have the facade of it, work environment, and, oh, yeah, I get to walk around with a gun and I get to act, be a body. But to really be, what is it called? Blue collar guys?
Yeah.
Be a blue collar worker again and actually have to grind and have to fucking, like physically tired, you know what I mean? Mentally tired, and labor and learn, because there wasn't much learning in. I mean, there was, there's training, because all of the shit was familiar shit that I've always, I've done, law enforcement or fucking military-esque shooting and training and maneuvering and all that shit. Nature. But it's about learning something, putting that mind to work, because my mind has gotten idle. I'm gonna be the first to admit it. It's gotten idle and it's warped my perspective. You know what I mean? And it's trying to get out those bows in the wood, go sanding it down. It's about getting that warping out, drying out and getting that new finish on, and then building a new platform. So I'm excited. I hope things go well and I could, the transition into it isn't bad, as far or pain like stressful. I don't give a shit about that. I hope there's not a lot of fucking monkey jumping through hoops type shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
To get into the program. Forward, cool. But yeah, dude. Just another journey.
No, I'm listening to you, man. I'm just, connecting with what you're saying, because me and you've been talking about this for years, dude. This job, this jumping in the trade. Well, we're both working for PD, where that's something that we both wanted to do, and here it is, dude. Here it is. I mean, perfect time. No one's jumping in trades anymore, at least not as often as they used to.
No, man.
And before, the guys who were jumping in trades, it was almost like a last chance. Like, I my next that. Not to say that all of them are, but the guys, I could do that and still have a chip on my shoulder type attitude, And now the time is coming where there's just not enough workers, period, in any trade for the amount of going on in America.
Nah, man, there isn't. And, it's funny you mention that because, for as much as people hate Donald Trump and want to, I'll be on the political aspect of it, I got to hand it to the man for being fucking not necessarily pro-union per se, but pro-worker. You know what I mean? Like laborer, like get out there and fucking work. You know what I mean? You could carry you so far, right? You can be the best graphic designer in the world. You can be the best cryptologist in the world. You can be the best fucking mathematician in the fucking world. But if you don't have anything to actually show for it. You know what I'm saying? If you don't have fucking a plane to actually physically build, who's gonna melt
a skill,
the steel?
Any skill.
The steel, who's gonna bend the steel? Who's gonna, you know what I mean? Who's gonna drive those rivets, and you know what I mean? Or who's gonna fucking weld the fucking pipes for the fucking gas lines? You know what I'm saying? Like, who's gonna build the fucking houses, or like, you still have all of this that we need to live and function on, and yet everybody wants that fucking $100,000. I fucking get my safe space zone and fucking drink my fucking soy latte and fucking with fucking no foam and fruit roulade and shit. It's like,
and there's some people that's just life. I mean, me and you both know guys up in 911. That's where they're gonna be, and they like it. More power to them.
Mm-hmm.
There's a reason. Like this, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? We're saying I can being exhausted and having to dig deep and being like, is this what I want to do? Hell yeah, it's what I want to do type thing, And at the end of the day, it just boosts your confidence going, I built that. Holy crap, I've only been here a year and I helped build that, you know what I mean? And kind of leaving leaving your fingerprint behind, and make sure it's a good one. People are at that for years, so make sure it's good. And that's where there's a reward system that this line of work gives you. That instant, there's no one to go, that looks like shit, and you go, really, show me where, And the thing is, when you're new and your trainer's like, that looks like shit, you're like, you got to bite the bullet. But ultimately, you learn from those moments. So I enjoy it, dude. And not only that, it is being around guys too, being able to say, this is our podcast, I'm gonna speak freely. Being like, hey, faggot, what are you doing? You know what I mean? And I don't talk like that all the time, but I do use the word faggot. And you know what? I'm not calling him gay. I'm insulting him in the way that it used to be. And I guess I am calling, whatever. Why do I gotta explain myself? I just like being able to talk like that.
Yeah.
I like being able to talk like that. I like being able to say, I like that what I see on Facebook, what I see on social media, where you got people talking about all this gender stuff and whatever. When I go to work, that don't exist. I live in the real world, and the real world is bright in the trades, man, where men are men, and I can't explain it other than to jump in another topic that you have experience in the military, where guys are used to those tight-knit platoon combat groups that they depend on each other. There's a bond amongst each other. And when they come back from their service, they just don't get that same kind of bond amongst men.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
yeah, I mean,
this will never compare to it. Oh, I'm sorry. I was just gonna say this will never compare to it, but it gives me that same, along that same lines. I'm in that area. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, comparing. If you know anything about me, I'm never one to say, "Oh, you don't know what you're talking about, so you can't speak on it." That's never been me, because you do know what you're talking about, because you have been in the ringer. You know what I mean, about shit. You may have not have done what I've done, but I've never done what you've done either. So. But I understand what you're saying, and you're right. There's an element of competition. There's an element of ego. There's an element of a high element of testosterone.
Yeah.
Of pride, and of just pure fucking primal. And we talked a lot about that in our old podcast, but a primal fucking drive that is created when you are amongst males that have that same, I shouldn't, not just males, but individuals who have that same type of hunger, right? Yeah. Because it's easier when you're around other guys. It should be easier. Why? Because a lot of you think the same, you act the same, you talk the same. You know what I mean? You think about pussy, you think about, you know, fighting, and you think about fucking getting drunk. You know what I'm saying? And blowing shit up or fucking
Yeah.
breaking shit. You know what I'm saying? So, like, you have these elements. Not to say there's a female or somebody that's gay or transgender or whatever the fuck, but it's a different. Where you don't have to PC yourself. You know, be all fucking politically correct.
Yeah.
And you can just be whatever. You know, I think
You get
the
to be a man, Chris. That's what you get to be a man.
And you know, and you're right. I think there are elements of the
And
pussification.
we have this tendency right now to be like, I'm gonna call this guy a faggot, but I gotta explain what I'm saying. No, you know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying. When I say, you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, look, if you're gonna say that, it's no, I'm not even gonna get into that. Fuck that. You get to be a man. Period. I'm not gonna explain that away. You get to be a man. And another aspect of it is you work with the guy who's training you all the time, who's already a journeyman.
Yeah.
Apprenticeship. And if you get a good one, being an apprentice, they know what it's like not making the amount of money that you do as a journeyman. They know what the struggle is, and they talk shit to you. You're sitting there, you're working, you fuck up, and they go, "What is that? Fuck day." They're caring for you. Oh, you broke this home, bro. I'll take care. They take care of you, but they fucking you got to pay your dues. You know.
Yeah.
And that
it's about building.
That's what makes.
Building. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's they're building.
In general, you got guys who are. It's just like a coming of age type of thing, where I do wish I had done this when I was 8 to be a man in that sense, you know what I mean? But it's scary starting over at 29 years old, but at the same time, if I'm happy.
Who you telling, bro? I'm 35 years old. I'm 6 years your senior, and I'll be starting over again for the third time, and hopefully for my final time. You know? I never thought I would be where I am now. Back, you know, and that was funny. I was talking with. I think I was talking with you the last time we talked, and I was like, you know how, you know, you look back and, you know, I think I was talking with my whatever, doomsday as I like to call it. But
we'll go ahead and go with it, man. I'm listening.
Saying like I was telling him, you know, I used to be very cautious on what I did, very strategic, right? Everything was planned out. My life didn't come from this fucking, you know, tight-knit family or fucking, you know, Huxtable Cosby family or fucking Family Ties family, you know, like, you know, family is wealthy and, you know, you go to a college and you go to the good school and your parents love you and they give you the tough love, but it's a good love. And, you know, and no, I came from a shitty, dysfunctional, abusive fucking family, you know, and it took me a long time to really honestly be able to say that and not fucking feel any old type of way about it. I did. And I tried really fucking hard to plan my life out to not make those same mistakes. You know, I tried to plan, you know, how I was going to be as a husband, how I was going to be as a father, how was I going to be as an employee. You know what I mean? I wanted a career, you know, all this other shit. And, you know, I think I peaked too early. At one point, I think when I, you know, not really looking at, you know, I go a lot with my heart. You know, I go off emotion. I never really being cautious when I decide what I'm going to do or what steps I'm going to take. You know, I go by passion. And I did a lot of things out of passion, sometimes hastily. But I accomplished things, or I learned real quick, okay, you need to do this right this way, and you need to do that way. And then, you know, I got the family, I got the job, I fucking, you know what I mean? I had the money coming in, you know, and then I was just like, okay, well, what the fuck am I doing now? So is this it? Do I just ride this fucking monotonous wave, or do I go and challenge myself? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then when I started challenging myself, I started seeing really good parts of me, really high fucking standards, high excellence, high performance. And then I started tanking in some areas. you know? And I kept doing this up and down, up and down. Being 35, I look and I say, okay, what are you doing? So what are your goals? Jory, I haven't had real goals in like fucking 3 or 4 years, like real goals. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
This is my life. This, I want to work for this. I haven't, and and that took me out of the game, man. It set me back. But now I understand. Now I know. Now I know where I want to be, where I think I would fit. Like I said, I'm not looking to be some fucking next fucking what's the guy's name that fucking I'm not Mark Zuckerberg or whatever. Mark Zuckerberg. I'm
You all right? What's wrong? Hold on, Chris. All right, she's good. All right, go ahead. Shannon's up there going, ow. Hold on, what? Is it popped back in place? Hold on, she popped her knee out of place, bro. Hold on.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on. I don't want to see this. Is it good? You all right? Oh my God. Hey, I like that color, bitch. That looks good. Sorry, bro. Go ahead, man. I didn't mean to interrupt you like that.
No, it's funny. Was that Kylo running around with the fucking?
Yeah. Yeah.
Big old fat boy. What up, boy? Hey, boy. Hey, Kylo.
All right.
No.
Oh man.
Saying, so. I'm
yeah.
ready.
No, I mean,
I'm
ready on a tangent. You didn't. It's just like me. I don't really have a point. I was just, appreciate what you're saying. I feel the same way when you're talking about real goals, and it's just, man, it's just one of those things where I don't know, dude. I could talk about this kind of stuff for hours because I went back to. It's almost scary jumping off that. You're building that life, like you said. You got the family, the house, the money, right? And then you got not in this life, and then you're like, well, you're looking down, and you're like, I got to start from there. You know what I mean? Start building back up. You know how to get there, so you can get there faster. But God damn, do you learn, man? You learn a lot. You remember what it's like to struggle. You're like, fuck, this is what it's like. Why did I choose this? But at the end of the day, you're like, but I have a goal in sight. Last time I didn't even have a goal. It just all came. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you got the blueprint now.
It's like, to me, it's like sailing, bro. It's like you're out on a sailboat, it's not real windy. So you're using your you're using your motor, and then all of a sudden, your sail or your motor dies, right? So the breeze starts picking up. You hoist that mast and you get that fucking sail going, that boom, fucking the sail opens up, you start fucking coasting, right? All of a sudden, you get a fucking storm comes, fucking rips a hole right in that sail.
Yeah.
Right? So your fucking engine's down, you ain't got no sail. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? You're gonna fucking figure out a way to not be stranded and die at sea. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's where it is for me right now, man. I'm not gonna fuck that, man. I'm gonna fucking figure out a way to patch that shit so I can get back on and get back moving.
Yeah.
Scary, dude. But at the same time, I'm a guy that if I'm not grinding, if I'm not working, I'm going fucking batshit crazy, bro. Like fucking losing my shit crazy, because that's not me. I'm not one of these guys that thinks that they can just sit at home and their wife works and, you know what I mean? And she's tired and struggling. Where's my dinner? And you know what I mean? And you're kicking the dog and you know what I'm saying? And you're fucking, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But no, I gotta be fucking hustling. I gotta feel fucking that exhaustion and tiredness and that weariness in the bones and be like, yeah, that fucking hurt. but it was good.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh man. Dude, hey, you know what did I ask you what it was like out there, that freaking Rocket X or whatever's in the sky?
That the lights in the
You know what I'm
sky?
talking about?
Talking about
Like
SpaceX?
Elon Musk fired up.
SpaceX.
Yeah, SpaceX. That's what I'm talking
Yeah,
about.
it's
Was
over
that crazier over in California?
I mean, it's based out of here. I mean, he works out of here, and he works out of fucking I don't want to say Annapolis, but wherever the space or wherever NASA is in Florida. It is in Annapolis, I think.
Well, all I know, look, I go out there to look at it, and my neighbor's out there, and she's like, she sees me, and she goes, I'm just making sure. She's like, hey, I hate to say this, is that? And I just ignored her. I was like,
she said,
so
what?
she
No,
thinks
cut out.
She says, I hate to say this, but is that a UFO? And I was like, I guess I don't hear her, so she says it again, same cadence, say this, but is that a UFO? I'm just like, I don't know, lady. I'm just, you know. But I don't know, man. It was just kind of talking about it, and everyone has theories about it, but I'm just like in the middle.
It's been all over Facebook and some. You know, it's funny. Like the day it happened, or like the day after it happened. You know, they came out and said that it was SpaceX rocket, boom. You know, trying to break the Earth's atmosphere and whatever. And then it was like all these UFO fucking conspiracy theorists people come out. Not to say that there isn't, you know, again, I'm not one of these fucking dum-dums that are so wrapped up in religion that they can't see the reality that, you know, if God was so fucking, if there is a God, and I believe that there is one, I'm not so stupid to say that he was so limited to only have created us. You know what I'm saying? Like, that shit doesn't make any fucking sense to me. So, you know, there's probably other people like us, you know, single cell organisms that are fucking, or whatever, multi-cell organisms that are fucking in another galaxy, fucking having the same fucking conversation over fucking Skype right now, like we are, you know, doing the same fucking shit, speaking a whole different language, or they could be fucking talking English, and we would never fucking know. You know, we're not that at that age to fucking really. I think it would be cool. You know, I'm a fucking sci-fi nerd, but I don't limit myself.
Speaking of nerd, I'm usually into like CIA thriller type books or nonfiction. You know what? I'm gonna try something new, and I went to newly released sci-fi books, and there's a thing called The Gift of Time. I'm only like 7 chapters in. I do an audio book. Dude, it's really fucking good.
What's
and
it called?
About this guy. It's called The Gift of Time.
The Gift of Time. I'm gonna write that down.
What happens is, dude, this UFO basically lands in this 80-year-old, and the UFO, the alien, whatever it is, it's basically, without getting too much details, basically asks for help. He's on his way to commit suicide. Like, he's like, I got no reason to live, and essentially, through transferring consciousness, gives him the gift of time of going back at 10 years old. And this is in the summer, I'm not ruining anything. 10 years old with everything he knows now, plus elevated mathematics and knowledge of that. So everything that he remembers in the future, his future, just by changing one thing, this is in the summary, I haven't got to this point, but he ends up altering it to where everything he remembers never actually happened. So I got to the point where they finally make the exchange to help her fix her little time machine, space time jumper, and he's trying to think of a deal. So, but I'm just like really into it. I'm like, because they're trying to use real science and transferring consciousness to make you immortal, and the fail safes to keep someone from going in and ruling the network, that ether that everyone's transferred their consciousness from, taking over infinitely. You know what I mean? So it's really interesting to kind of explore it, because I like ideas of sci-fi movies, but maybe it's just like thrillers where they can get into more crazy detail because they're not limited by network and saying, nah, that's stupid. You know what I mean? And it was a good investment to listen to, man, because I really like it talking about crazy ideas like that, like Twilight Zone, or there's a new show out called Black Mirror on Netflix. It's cool to explore those kind of ideas. And
Black Mirror, I don't know. I'm so happy you watched those series because
yeah, I didn't watch all of them, but they were good, dude.
Oh, dude, did you what season are you in?
Well, I watched like 3 or 4 of them from all seasons. Like I watched the one where the dude's
where he can play the memory back from his eyes.
Where they liking people and shit. No,
where he goes and he's in a job interview and he doesn't get the job and he goes to the party.
I didn't see that one. Don't ruin it. No, I didn't see it. What about the Social Network? No, I'm just thinking of episodes that I did watch. Which one? Tell me which ones you saw, and I'll tell you if I saw it. We could talk about it. Which one?
I think I've seen all of them except for maybe the last 2 in season 3, or last 1 or 2 in season 3.
What did you see, like the White Christmas or whatever, where the guy
where the
you can block each other,
attic, but it was like
where the daughter's blocked until the is away.
I can't hear you. You keep cutting out.
Where you can block each other, right? And his girlfriend gets pregnant and doesn't want the baby, and he don't know why, and she blocks him, and he can't see his daughter.
No, I didn't see that one. What season is that?
Okay,
that's got to be season 3, bro. Because I saw I saw the first 2 seasons. So there was like the one where, oh my God, it's been a while now. Did you see the one where the daughter is in the attic? Like the daughter dies or whatever, and then he finds a way to like bring her back, and she's in the attic. And no. I haven't. What about the social media one? The one where you like each other, and that's basically your credit rating is by liking each other. Yeah.
Okay, that one. That's one of the one I saw, which is okay, but at the same time, I was like, that's pretty badass.
Where they decide whether or not to execute the guy.
That one. Dude. Sorry, dude. Me and Jen try to get in shows. I gotta find time on my own time to watch these. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, it's like, for me, it's like these shows, I like them because a lot of them are relevant to today, right? So
yeah,
and a lot of them are technology based. Like here we are, this up and coming society, but we're so obsessed with technology and self-improvement and but there are a lot of dangers that people don't really consider. A lot of personal liberties that go away when you want to be so connected or you know what I mean, or smarter than the next person, or fucking have the advantage, whatever the case may be. So I like that that it's kind of like a Twilight Zone theme.
Yeah. But modernized, right?
A modernized kind of Twilight Zone theme.
Yeah.
And most of the endings aren't happy. You know what I mean? They're like, exactly. They're pretty fucked up, and dark. But the reality is I think you and I talked about this in our last conversation, talking about this coexist and this unity and, this global fucking, this globalization of the world. Everyone needs to be connected, and it doesn't work as humans, by design, whether you want to call it God's design or not. He did not create us all equally. Otherwise, nobody would have disabilities. Everybody would have fucking 10-inch fucking dicks. You know what I mean? Fucking, you know what I'm saying? Everybody would be fucking 6'5", you know what I mean? And women would have big ass and titties and shit. And, he didn't, you wouldn't have these things, but we do. So, people war over religion. We war over resources.
Yeah.
like I said, there's so much to talk about. There's so many different avenues.
No, yeah, no, dude. I mean, I'm right there with you in that. Where, I mean, you start off with a big subject of this world unity. Yeah, it just isn't going to work. It's like my whole idea is I always talk to Shannon. Like my last post was these are my tribe members, right? Some of my tribe members. Because the whole thing is we're supposed to be in small communities. That's why you're supposed to meet your neighbor. You know what I mean? That's why you're supposed to mingle in person. You're supposed to talk to. That's why I wanted to do this, because I can talk to you like this, and this is the closest thing being face to face. I mean, you're in California right now, technology. You're in California, I'm in Arizona, and I'm able to sit here and have a good conversation where I can't just have everybody. They're not. You know what I mean? So these small communities, and I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. I mean, Vietnam, when we went in there, we didn't win because they just believed in something as a country, like very poor, but just very strong in their beliefs. And it was hard to defeat someone that fought for reasons other than resources. You know what I mean? And that's kind of,
I can't, to be honest, I mean, it wouldn't be fair for me to speak on it because I don't, one, I'm not a history guy. I know some history. But my element of the history is a history written as a veteran, you know what I mean? So my concept of the war is different than it would be for, my concept of the war as a veteran who didn't serve in that era is going to be different from that of a veteran who did serve in that era, and different than a person who lived through that era and had particular feelings pro or against, or was directly affected by that. I'm not a Viet Cong, I'm not Vietnamese. I don't really know. I do know that there was an element that wanted to be, free like we are, democracy driven, capitalistic driven. And then there was an element that didn't. And then when it got to backing, obviously communist Russia and China and all these other nations backed and supplied, different elements of troops to where we were primarily the main front. I mean, granted, like other wars, there were other countries involved, but they weren't heavily invested as we were, when our motivation was pretty much to put a chokehold on the spread of communism, right? So same thing with Korea. Our footprint was to put a chokehold on the spread of communism, and all that came with it. And it is hard, and looking at it as a veteran now who served, our Western ideology to a country who is older than we are, to a civilization who's religious driven is older than we are, you know what I mean, as a nation, I wouldn't say it's impossible, but they have to be ready and willing to accept it. If you want to if you want to jump on this topic, take what's happening over in Iran, for instance, right? You see anything in the news in the last fucking 36 hours, there's an uprising in fucking Iran by their people, demonstrations and protests in all but 5 major cities. Well, it's 5 major cities. All but I think they said 5 provinces in the country. The entire country of Iran is protesting against their government because their dictatorship, totalitarian, terrorism, genocide, oppression. You know what I mean? And these people have finally had enough. They are finally catching up world and said, hey, we want to be a part of normal what everybody else is doing. We want to have the right to vote our leaders. We want to have a right to say if we want to express our religion in this particular way. We want to have a right to say we want to be, homosexual or non-homosexual. You know what I'm saying? And the country is saying, and the leaders are freaking the fuck out and like saying, oh shit. And they're fighting back against the protesters. They're killing people. The last time Iran had this, and like 30 years ago, they rounded up all of the political, or the what do you call them? The rebellious faction, were, hosting these protests and shit like that, executed them, executed their entire families, like completely wiped them in their and that scared them, and they were able to last for another 30 years. They're trying to do it now, but the people are saying, no, we're not gonna let you, you know. And so it's, you know, it'd be crazy to see what's going on, you know.
Yeah, and I didn't mean to go on like that road. My whole point was, I mean, even if you go back to when Westerners were coming to North America with the Native Americans, what happened just from abroad, my whole point was being in smaller groups of people where they saw Westerners getting drawn to the tribe life, but they didn't see Native Americans come to the Westerner side. You know what I mean? It was, my whole point is just, we're meant to be in small factions, small communities, even if it's larger, but I mean, you can't just say the government needs to. You got to have a name to it. Hey, this guy needs to step up, do something right now, and it's got to be someone who can directly control something. You know what I mean? That's all I was getting to.
Right, but here's
that's all I was trying to say. Like, I wasn't trying to go, I just picked the Vietnam because.
No, but you make a good point. But I agree. But if you look at it from a more broad spell, you're right. From Europe to then was just new land, newfound frontier, whatever. They had these small communities. They were living these lives. They were mingling with, natives, learning their ways to crop, their ways of tradition. Okay. Do you know where we got the idea to assemble a republic of nations together?
No.
Native Americans. Our foundation, the way we are founded, the way our structure of government, these independent states coming together to form a perfect union.
Yeah.
That all came from the Indian nation. They were the first to have that. They had all of these tribes from Crow, Saskatchewan, yeah, fucking Navajo, all of these, the Indian nation came together and governed themselves.
Really?
Yeah, so George Washington.
That's badass, dude.
George Washington and, fucking Benjamin Franklin and all of these fucking Declaration of Independence individuals learned this from them because they were able to agree on commerce, agree on land, agree on traditions, things that were important to them, but yet be able to live independently and for the benefit of their people, their entire people. That's where we got our idea of forming this perfect union that we call the United States. It wasn't something that our English forefathers fucking randomly woke up one day and said, hey, I think this is a great idea. And no, they were taught this shit. Right?
Yeah.
So, but the point is to say that you're right. Smaller communities, smaller brotherhoods of knowing thy neighbor and appreciating them and leaning on them for goods and services that they know how, and you learning from them and you teaching them things that you know, and you guys bonding and create, that is all important. Yeah. And then it spreads out to your community, spreads out to your fucking, your block, to your fucking city, and people should be able to live in harmony in that fashion. Anyways, dude, I gotta go. I have fucking 9% battery.
You gotta go? God damn, Chris. Yeah. All right, brother. I'll catch you later, yeah?
Yeah. Hey, when you want to do this again?
All right.
When you want to do this again?
I'm pretty much, I got to check with the boss lady. No, we'll see. Right now we can set it up just in case, I'm in conversation mode, not thinking of having anything. We can do it again tomorrow. Don't matter.
All right. I'll holler at you, bro. Have a good night.
Hey, love you, bro.
Love you too. Later.